will be prepared, so that humans understand that they are the value, not money or anything external to them.
Yes.
So what I really am doing is preparing you for that change,
Yeah.
and humans generally need to be prepared for that change because it's going to happen, you know.
Well, I think one big conspiracy that's gone on the planet with the banking system and the way we use energy and um, externalized scarcity-based economy is that I think, I mean, I obviously can't get in the heads of people that design the system, but I think that a lot of it was to actually get us be focused on depending on survival on things that seem to have scarcity. Like, for example, things like oil and what have you. I think we already knew from a long time ago that people like Tesla had come up with ways to extract unlimited energy from the universe. Not extract is not the right word, but to bring in unlimited energy supply, which is this thing that we're talking about. It's this spiritual energy that it's always going. Universe is always abundant and flowing, but somehow a layer has been put over that, and people like that have been actually killed off or decimated in history so that their story never got out. And I think, like the person, William Reich, that had talked about orgone was also in that whole genre. So there was so much of misbehaving in the way of killing off these energy sources and the information to come through to let people know that don't we're not um, we're not in a survival mode. Actuality, in reality, we don't have to depend on these external things that we've been told to survive, that we're free from all of that, and therefore we can create however we want to create. But I think like in economics, you see so much dialogue is about scarcity of energy, scarcity of food, scarcity of this and that. And I think it was all part of this whole phantom scheme that was it's a certain phantom kind of external overlay to deceive people, and then it's easy to sell this whole debt, right? To sell this whole mantra of you need to work for this and you need to work for that because there's only so much of this, and you need to compete because it's limited, and so then you create this whole diluted, deceptive dialogue. So I think really the solution, like you said, is to liberate people from thinking that any of this is true, and that really the power lies within, and this is how they tap into the infinite universal backflow.
Yeah, but this exchange is really about me, um, me and you.
Yeah.
I'm not here. I'm not. What I'm saying is not to change the planet.
Right.
It's to change me and understand the change that is happening in me, and to transmute that over to you, or
Right.
transfer that over to you, because it's not. It's individuals. It's not only the collective.
Yeah.
But once individuals begin to understand this, and then I will tell you, you will tell many, and so the message gets passed along.
Right.
So yeah. But just to get back to understanding the whole system change that's going to happen here. Well, when I say it's going to happen, the resources behind it are there. The intention behind it is there. It's just up to the beings that are involved in this to actually make it happen. And I'm just one of many people who are working very hard. We've looked at all the things like the monetary system works within a judicial system. And the judicial system comes out of, as I told you, was the maritime law. Okay? So,
Mm-hmm.
so all those laws, all those regulations have to be scrapped.
Right.
And then we look at the system here that is premised where we have governments that are owned, and they, they what's the word I'm looking for? beholden to the corporate structure.
Yeah.
So people get into power not because of the people of the countries, they get into power because of the corporations.
Right.
And the corporations hold an enormous amount of power, and the amount of their wealth exceeds the effort and value that they give to the planet.
Right.
So all of this is being looked at, and how do we change that? How do
Right.
we create new forms of government? How do we create new systems of commerce? How do we create new systems of economy? How do we change education? How do we free up technologies? How do we change the medical system, the health system on the planet? How do we change the understanding of exopolitics and our relationship with the extraterrestrials, because they exist? I know. I had one living in me for for a long time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so there are groups of people around the planet who have been writing up papers for this, so that when this change takes place, there'll be an enormous educational system. We've got a media group as well that are preparing documentaries who want to take over the whole of the media system, the television, the radio stations, so that people will be informed of what's happening and the system will change. So it's not like a little operation that we're involved in. It's just massive.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, this is the website that you told me about. This is how somebody learns about it, godskyEarth.org.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to join. It's my cup of tea. I'd stay up until 3 in the morning to do this. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go there now. I'm gonna go take a look.
but it has to be premised on one thing, that humans are the value. They are individuated expressions of one thing, of
Right.
the one thing, and that is the God source. That everything in the universe is interconnected and everything is part of everything else. And there's nothing that you say or think or do that is not going to be observed by the universe. As much as we observe our external world, we are being observed by the universe. That's how the quantum physics works.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and also I think what you said earlier is so meaningful yet so not easy to understand the mechanics of. You had said, the universe only understands abundance, right? And so when we're in a lack mode, we may be saying through our speech that we're not in lack mode, but we're reflecting that. So there are so many layers of distortion going on between how we are actually exhibiting our energy pattern to to what we're saying to the world we're doing, right? Or like a lot of times we get so confused within ourselves, we don't really know what we're sending out. We may be saying one thing, but we're actually sending out the opposite. But what you're saying is that the universe is much more intelligent in actually detecting our true energy signature, and it knows if our energy signature is a lack one or abundance one. So, and it bypasses all the language we use and self delusions we get ourselves tripped over, but it actually detects that, and then whatever it detects, it gives more of that. So a person, so from this example, from this we can understand how, say if a person is, for example, on paper very wealthy, but they're always having the energy signature of lack and greed and all that, they just wind up getting more of that bounced back at them from the universe, right?
yeah.
And that is something very
They
hard for
think in
people.
abundance. Yeah, they think in abundance because they've got, all these things around them that they enjoy, and they sometimes don't appreciate it, but most time they do appreciate it because they appreciate it so much they want more of.
Right,
They're greedy.
right,
And
right,
that's what the universe gives them, more of.
right. So how is that more of a worse one than the more of something that's a good one? You know,
There's no
I think I
judgment.
don't really fully understand what's going on, but anyway.
steal, and but as long as they are saying, the universe gives more of this, the universe gives them more of that, because that's what they do. They want to experience. However, that's what I was saying about the duality. We have to reconcile our own duality.
Right. 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 Mhm. Okay, I see. I see. Yeah, I think I'm understanding a little bit more now, and it still is comes down to frequency attracts similar frequency, and it's a law of attraction at different levels. It's not just attracting good things, but if you are of poor mindsets, then you attract that back. And but a lot of times people, when they're doing devious action, they don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for them or for other people. They think it's a good thing. So they have this delusion going on. But anyway, they're screaming out for that kind of energy signature, and then the universe just gives more of that back to them. So can we say that really a way to balance this internalized approach for our development, and tying ideas of manifestation and interacting with the universe and what have you, is just to think that, well, it's never wrong to want to have more love and compassion and peace in your life, right? And so we just ask for that, and then and then sometimes this will show up in just non-material ways. It would maybe, by non-material, I mean, I'm flattening it down to economic material, because usually when we get in discussions about want, it ties into all these other discussions about desirous attachment to material goods and stuff, right? So it kind of starts to flatten the discussion to a different level. But can we just say, okay, in order to balance all of this, we just say it's never really wrong to ask for more love and peace and compassion for ourselves and all living beings. And however it trickles down into the karmic patterns in our life, some people, it might show up as a lot of material abundance suddenly, because that is the way in which the love and peace and compassion will get manifested through, is through all this material things that you need to reconcile with or whatever. But for someone else's karmic pattern, it may show up as not much of material things at all, and it would just be a whole bunch of nonprofit things, or just regular, person to person kind of discussion or something. But then we just say we're not placing any value judgments on how it winds up manifesting in the appearance world, and we just say, as long as we ask for the right things, then we should be content with what shows up in our hologram.
Yeah, yeah. It's the way this banking system keeps us from not experiencing what we actually want is the media, the
Yeah.
movies, and so they distract us all the time. So on the one hand, our inner self is saying one thing, but then we watch a movie and we see people getting murdered and so on, and that distracts us, and it creates new feelings, new thoughts, and different feelings and different thoughts. So at the end of the movie, now the universe is confused, because on the one hand we're talking about love and peace, but we're watching movies about war and hate.
Right,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
what is going on
Yeah, right.
here? Yeah. Okay, well, look, yeah, there's lots of other times we can talk about this, and we've talked quite a bit tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let's do this again, and we can talk some
Yeah.
more. And
I would love to. This is always so beneficial speaking to you, you know? And I feel like every time we talk, I always come away with like 10 billion more things that, what we started we're going to talk about. So this is very, 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 very dynamic, and I really appreciate your time and your all your energy and your wisdom and all of that. So, you know what I think I'm going to do is I finally learned how to like shrink down the size of these audios. I'm gonna try to load it on Facebook because now I'm really trying to invite different friends to come and visit Facebook and just share some positive things. So I'm going to. You don't mind, right? If I just load it up on Facebook also, my Facebook.
uh, no, this
Yeah,
is where everybody.
yeah, that's where everybody's showing up nowadays. So I'm going to put it up on Facebook and yeah, yeah. Well, it's all coming together, and I won't go on and on, but I think I just say one thing. You said again, the way to change this is through changing the you and the me, like the individuals, like you and me and you and me. And I think the reason this is so important is because again, our conceptual mind is high limited. We can't, if we start taking very externalized standards, well, and then by projecting things like, well, it's got to look like this, and this is the way of a peaceful society or what have you. I just don't think our human mind have the ability to conceive what is highly, 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 infinitely amazing. So then the best thing to do is we just purify our individual minds and have these cherishing seeds in us, and then through word of mouth, like how you've transmitted to me and how I'm going to make an effort and other people do the same thing, it'll just be like a real dynamite effect. And then I think what we'll come up with will amaze all of us to such an extent that we're really then living in the inconceivable. Because in the Buddhism we have the yoga of inconceivability, and the reason I think it's called inconceivability is because it's beyond the human's conceptual imagination. So I think we should all just embrace for like a really joyous, rocky, like, not rocky, but like rock and roll, like really fun, joyous ride, and then just
Yeah.
embrace the inevitability to show up in our lives.
Yep. I think as we progress, something might come out of it, which is bigger than we imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then the more we can remove our limited conceptualized mind into thinking what that's got to be, because I just think it's beyond our ability to conceive at this moment. But what we could work on is in our individual hearts try to purify and then do this internalized approach of just um, you know buttressing the integrity of our own energy field and develop love, compassion, and renunciation for an externalized hinged survival mode, externalized hinged reality, but realize by renouncing that you're actually opening up a groundswell of so much more unimaginably beautiful things to come. That it's not like it's not, you're not shortchanging yourself, but you're actually magnifying and bringing to surface the huge, huge potential, the infinite potential we all have. So, so yeah, so it's a bit like, you know, letting go of the mule so you can get on a plane kind of thing. But it's a little bit
Yeah.
inconceivable what it's like if you've been riding a mule all your life. But at least you have to have enough faith that a rocket, space rocket, and a plane is coming, and it's actually you can just bring it out of yourself. It's so trippy. Okay, anyway, it's
Yeah.
just a very trippy journey. But thank you so much, Colin. I really look forward to talking to you again. So we make another time on email, okay?
Okay.
Whenever you have time, I'll make time because I always enjoy so much talking to you. You're wonderful.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You wonderful too, and I enjoyed talking to you with
Yeah,
you.
peace to all.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of love to you, Colin. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and once I
Right.
post the audio,
Bye.
please share with your friends. The more people know about this, the better.